This is Multiplaying, episode 42. That's right, the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything, recorded on August 27th, 2010.
But what's the question?
But, yeah, this is the answer to it. We don't know what the question is.
Right, so what's the ultimate question?
Well, we don't know.
Goddamn Douglas Adams!
We'll make a machine that'll answer it. We'll come up with the question for us.
Everybody online, looking good.
A companion podcast to the collaborative blog and gaming community that's playing as life allows. This is Multiplaying.
Well, let's start the insanity.
We have clearance, Clarence. Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Hello?
Great heavens! What kind of radio show is this?
All right.
Awesome.
Tonight we have Heather.
Hello.
We have John.
Yo.
We have Dean.
Hi.
And me, Steve, with you on this Friday. It's a fantastic Friday, is it not? Because it goes into the weekend, like most of it.
Hooray.
Yay!
Start off with what everybody's been playing. Heather, what you been playing? Oh, you know what? I already fucked up this podcast.
Yes,
Heather,
you did.
what are you drinking? Or what have you been drinking?
I'm drinking it's not my first. It's my first black and tan Yingling. It's that Pennsylvania beer everybody is always raving about.
Uh-huh.
So it's the first. It's pretty good.
Pretty good. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
It's new.
John, what are you drinking tonight?
Drinking some red wine, some Merlot.
All right. You still got the whole, cask of wine sitting next to you?
Yeah, I've actually got a direct tap now.
Awesome.
So I don't even have to get a... I don't have the glass, I just have a hose directly connected.
Adult hamster feeder.
Yeah, so every so often it'll give me, yeah, exactly. So I just, lick the, the little dispenser,
You'll hear the little jingle of the little piece of the metal ball in it bobbing up and down.
Yep, and I've got some new roommates, so that's kind of cool.
He's got another contraption on the other side of the desk that pumps out cheeseburgers like they're pellets.
Okay,
Dean, what?
Yeah.
Huh?
Nothing.
Sounds like a clock.
I'm just imagining him drinking out of an adult-sized hamster feeder thing. There's wine just running down his face.
And that's the noise that he makes when he drinks out of it.
That is. Every time I go to drink it.
This podcast is gonna be a train wreck. Dean, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking another Pyramid Haywire Hefeweizen.
Oh my God. And you guys are all drinking alcohol, and I am not. I am drinking an energy drink. Actually, I got it for free. I know, right? And it's actually a Rockstar energy drink, which, funny the story behind that was that I went to a show, or I shouldn't say show, a customer appreciation thing a couple weeks ago from work, and when I went, one of the vendors that was there showing off stuff actually had boxes and boxes of Rockstar energy drink that they were just giving out for free. The funny part is, that's not funny. The funny part is that the sign in front of them to tell you that to take it for free says, "It's the drink of winners." And I laughed for about 5 minutes because it was just it was so serious that this is the drink of winners. Drink Rockstar. It's
Steve, you're a winner.
I feel like a winner right now. So I'm drinking that. So yay! It's tasty though.
You too can feel like a winner.
But we'll get into what everybody's been playing for the last week or month or however long, because it's like Heather, it's been a long time since we've talked to you.
Has been a while.
Yeah? What have you been playing?
I've been playing Warhammer pretty much exclusively. I tried
Still.
Champions since my last podcast.
Did you?
I tried Champions for a week. It was fun, but it lasted me about a week.
It doesn't hold the candle to City of Heroes since that was your first love?
Yeah, it doesn't. It's almost too... it's really cool with all the different... the travel powers and the customizations is pretty... just wow. But it was so comic booky. I don't know. And I like comic books okay, but it was just too comic booky even for me.
Really?
Yeah, and I did AOC 2 days and hated it. I just hated that game.
Really?
Yeah, I really did. Find the
Okay.
appropriate sound effect.
No, sorry, that was actually a call.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I could just see him over there just like frantically, oh God, where's that file? Where's that sound file?
And so then I went back to War, and I've been playing that quite a bit, actually. And
Awesome.
It's
I see
been
you
good.
tweeting about it.
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, they've made a lot of changes. 1.3.6 has been pretty good. I kind of been holding off going into T3 because T3 was supposed to be a complete wasteland because of the Land of the Dead. Pretty much what you did is you hit T3 and you got summoned there and power leveled.
Gotcha.
And so because
That
I don't...
sucks.
Yeah, it does, because I don't play War to PvE. I play War to PvP.
Right.
And so 1.3.6, you can't do that anymore. You can't go to the Land of the Dead at that level.
Was it T4 now only?
Yeah, T4 only, I believe. I'm not sure what level right off the top of my head that you can go, but you can't go until T4. I know that.
I like
And
that
then-
idea, though.
I do too, and it was really busy. Of course, last weekend was also a double renown and experience weekend, so
Yes, it was.
yeah, so it's kind of skewed. I don't know if it'll be as busy as it was, but they added the Skaven. Well, there's one Skaven, two Skaven. Most of them are Plaguerats that they added to the RVR lakes in War.
Mhm.
But from what I have seen, it has actually increased some open RVR because you get a whole lot of renown for killing the what do they call it? The gutter runner.
Oh, cool.
And it's kind of located right in between the two war camps, so you'll go out and you'll see the other side is trying to kill the gutter runner, and so of course it breaks out into fights. So it has helped.
So you mean they actually got something to get people out there and like fight each other?
Absolutely, so far.
That's fantastic.
I mean, but last weekend too, that thing was given like 5,000 renown or something like
crap.
that. So yeah,
with the double renown?
yeah, with the double renown, and of course they've got the new buff now too, the against all odds. So, and that'll go up to I think like a 400% increase. So if you had the against all odds buff plus the double, I mean, it was given just a ton of renown that weekend.
What is that buff?
It's against all odds. It's something else they added in 1.3.6, which basically if your realm is outnumbered, and it's scaled depending on how much you're outnumbered, I believe is how that works.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I remember hearing something about that, but I never looked into what it was exactly.
Yeah, and I think it goes up to 400% as the maximum, so that's a
Wow.
lot.
Lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and so if you've got this, again, it's to encourage open RVR, and so
Nice.
far it seems to be working.
Yeah. What was funny though is last weekend, or I should say right before last weekend, when they announced the double renown. I've been in such a limbo state with all the MMOs. I was actually very tempted to sub back up from. I was like, you know what? That sounds pretty nice. I was like, I could jump back on there but no, God, no, don't do it. Jesus, what am I doing? I'm already subbed to like 4 games right now.
It has been a lot of fun. I mean, of course I should have spent it trying to get some renown on my Archmage, but I didn't. I spent it getting like 8 levels on my Bright Wizard.
Oh, cool. Having
Well,
fun with
what
them.
I've been doing is I have a Sorceress on Badlands, and then I have the Bright Wizard on Iron Rock. And so I've been kind of comparing the two and seeing, what I like better, which one seems to be better. And because, everybody always says the Bright Wizard's better, and
Right, yeah.
I think it is, actually. I mean, there's a couple of things about it. First of all, they get Cauterize, which is pretty, that removes hexes and curses and basically, debuffs, whereas the Sorceress doesn't get that. The damage, I don't know about the damage as much. I don't pay that much attention to the numbers, but the Bright Wizard's just so much more fun to play than the Sorceress.
Yeah.
I mean, the Sorceress is just,
It's always seemed weird to me.
yeah.
Should they play the same?
They should be very similar, and they are very similar. I mean, the spells, if you look at them, are very similar, except, like I said, Cauterize is dramatically different. The Sorceress doesn't get that. But just even the animations are so much better on the Bright Wizard. The Sorceress just feels slow, and I don't know. She's just not as much fun to play as, I don't know, I guess you just like to make things go boom. I mean, you're throwing fire around. What's not to like?
I mean, the Bright Wizard does have a certain flair about him.
Yeah.
So Heather, I have a stupid
Oh,
question.
nobody's going to catch that joke. Come on. That was
What?
the worst joke I've ever said on this
Flair,
It's a certain
podcast.
flair.
Ah, yeah.
Got it.
Rim
we got it.
shot. I'm gonna edit in a rim shot for that.
So Heather, I have kind of a dumb question. It's been so long since I've actually seriously played War. You keep on talking about like hurting yourself.
Yeah.
How? So okay, at the risk of sounding like somebody who's a total noob who played it for like months and months and months, you can hurt yourself.
Absolutely. The
How does that-
the Bright Wizard and the
Not with
the-
blades.
Yeah. No, not with blades.
You just stab yourself in the eye.
The Bright Wizard and the
You're not
Sorceress.
cutting your wrists. You're just
No, I'm not that desperate about the game. They both build up. The Bright Wizard builds up what's called combustion, and the Sorceress builds up dark magic.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what that is you can run up to 100% and you do a whole lot more damage. But unless you've got somebody healing you, you will kill yourself. Because it causes a backlash, if you will. I think it's called backlash on the Sorcerer, and it's called an explosion on the Bright Wizard. And so when I'm running, of course, I think my Bright Wizard's only 24, so when I'm running full combustion, I'll do like 600 damage to myself each spell I cast. And so unless you've got somebody healing you, you have to use, they each have spells that will basically burn off the combustion or the dark magic so that you start from scratch again.
Right.
So it's basically to let you do a boatload of damage, but at a cost.
Mm-hmm. Unless you vent that out with one of the spells that will get rid of it. So.
Exactly. And interestingly enough, what I have found is bright wizards get healed less than sorcerers.
there does seem to be, at least, I mean, in the times that I was playing the game, there was a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, but there was always this little, like, hate from healers that they always had to save the Bright Wizards and the Sorcerers, and especially, you hear a lot more from the Bright Wizard side because I think they're a little bit more suicidal.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, I'm completely suicidal. I mean, I get up to full combustion and I just go.
Yeah, that was a complaint because the healers would complain that, you know, I should be putting these heals towards tanks and stuff, and no, I'm sitting back here trying to save these suicidal Bright Wizards.
But I believe if you look at Renown, if you're doing scenarios and things like that, I believe healers, because the other thing I play all the time is healers. Healers get more renown if they're healing the people doing the most DPS.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. That was always true, though.
You actually get more benefit to healing, say, a witch elf, a sorcerer, than you do over a tank who's really not doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, but then the question comes into play, is it smarter to do that for the good of the actual scenario or whatever?
Depends
Well,
depends what you're there for.
It
Yeah,
depends, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if that, like, let's say when Devin or Tack and I would actually duo, and I would be, like, on a Zealot, and he'd be on his Sorceress, and, you know, him and I duoing together, we would, like, get on the, you know, points of opportunity or, like, behind a rock or a tree or, you know, in, like, a kind of an obscure place, and he would just burn people down, and all I would do would heal him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would just sit there with my Zealot and spam every heal I got, and he's just sitting there at full dark magic, just, like, crit, 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 just, like, dropping people left and right. So if you can drop people fast enough, then, yeah, it's worth it to heal the Sorceress. But if it's sort of like a stagnant battle where it's kind of like a long, then obviously you need to kind of spread it out a little bit. And so.
Oh yeah, a sorcerer and a healer, a pocket healer, can really do some damage.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I was unaware of that mechanic, so thank you for explaining.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I mean, it's kind of annoying sometimes. You got to know, though. I mean, if you're not getting any heals, like if I'm in a keep siege and I'm not getting heals, then I know I've got to, you know, hit my, I forget what the spells are called, but whatever to burn off the,
Right.
you know, the build up, or I will die very quickly.
Yeah, you got to put out the fuse.
Yeah, you got to start from scratch, or you will just be dead and not doing anything because they won't res you either.
Yeah, what I did when I was a healer in sieges and like large scale battles, and I had a whole bunch of Bright Wizards that are like, heal me. All I would do is like I would hot all of them and then concentrate on the other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the hot was instant, so it's just like hot, you know, the heal over time on all of them, and then be like, all right, that should hold you over for you to do what you want, and then I'll just concentrate on people who actually need healing. You know,
People who aren't blowing themselves up.
yeah, exactly. So people who are actually in combat.
Hey.
Aww.
I was in a group. This was pretty fun, though. I was in a group with literally 14. This is a pickup group. 14 warrior priests. And we were defending a keep, and there have been some really epic keep sieges here recently. This is like a 45-minute keep siege, and I
Someone
was
died?
able to. Yeah, no, I was able to run full combustion the whole time. It was awesome.
Well, I
mean, it just-
remember before they, not nerfed, but fixed warrior priests, that they were literally the best healers in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Well-
just insane.
Well, as far as numbers go, because of the group heal, right?
They
Yeah.
still will have just gaudy numbers, but
Yeah.
as
no,
I
but
understand,
before it was just dumb. It was just like,
Yeah.
really?
but they still typically will have a lot of the higher numbers. As I understand it, they're looking at nerfing group heals in general. Now, I don't know that that's definite,
Yeah.
but they're talking about kind of nerfing group heals.
Yeah.
We're
What
taking
was
it as factual.
This is facts. Facts.
Yeah, facts.
It was the book, right? The book that gave you the regen on your righteous
Yes.
something or other.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Because I remember as soon as I got a purple book, I was like, well, I'm a healer now.
Yes.
I was just like, guess what? Max healer on everything. So it was fun, and then I was like, I don't really want to be a healer anymore. And then I got my Marauder to 50 or 40.
50.
You don't want
Yeah.
to get yelled at all the time for not
Yeah, I
healing.
turned it. But this goes to 11.
I found it's definitely better if you've been drinking to play the Bright Wizard because nobody cares.
Not
You
even
don't get-
you.
Yeah, you don't get Actually, it's funny because when I drink, I get like the top damage every time.
Because you're like, I died. Fuck it.
No, I just stand there. I don't care. I'm getting down to nothing. I just keep nuking. But healers, yeah, they still get a lot of grief in that game.
Yeah. Well, cool. But you been playing anything else, or just
No.
warming it up?
That's pretty much it. I am a serial monogamist when it comes to my games.
I think that's everybody here.
Oh, baloney, y'all,
No.
y'all sluts.
I mean, just
Oh,
just
wait.
look at our.
Was I being sarcastic?
No, I'm not being sarcastic.
No, I said, was I being sarcastic?
Oh, okay.
I never thought I'd be called a slut by Maeve. Wow.
Wait,
Mark your
what's that mean?
No, not like that. Aw.
Hey! My cheeks are turning red. What the hell, Dean?
I just meant generally, not implying anything.
Pot,
Whoa.
meat, kettle. John.
Hey! Turn the camera on so you can see my bird.
We're just teasing you, mate. John.
Mm-hmm.
What you been playing?
I'm playing the Elemental War of Magic, which is, by the way, is an awesome game. Just came out a couple days ago.
Yeah, I had to ask you about that. As I know, like, you're playing it. I think Jason's at least picked it up. I'm not sure if he started playing it. I know he was in the beta, but
Yeah, I
I'm
played
not
the
sure
beta
if-
pretty extensively, just
Did ya?
kind of see how stuff works. It's even from the beta, like even recent beta, they've changed a lot of the technologies and stuff to more updated, more streamlined, more usable,
Right.
like stuff. Basically, because even in the beta, when we interviewed, I'm terrible with names.
Brad Wardell.
Yes, Ordell. About it, he's like, yeah, we didn't want to make the game fun because then no one's really testing it. They're just
Right, yes.
playing it. Like, so, testing out specific systems and stuff, and they actually did that really well. And now that the game's out, it's a lot of fun, and it worked out rather well the way they did it.
See, because I've heard nothing but, like, people crapping on the game that there's tons of bugs and problems.
Okay, bugs, whatever, man. I mean, they fix that stuff. But
I know, but it's just, I don't know. It's been, I have not read into, all I've read that there's crashes. I don't know. I've read a lot of bad stuff, and that's what I was kind of, I've not heard any, from you guys that there's any problem, and I've read people on Twitter saying, yeah, I was up all night playing Elemental. And it's like, okay, and like what I'm hearing from people I know doesn't match anything what I'm reading online.
well, the people that publish things, it's sort of like the news. You only hear the bad stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the people that publish articles about Elemental, just as an example, would be saying nothing but saying, "Oh, this game is so buggy. It crashes all the time. Blah blah blah." When, how many people are playing it? Like I have been playing it quite a bit, and I have not had a single crash.
Right.
Not one. In the beta, yeah, there were some crashes and stuff, but it was very
it's beta.
rare. It's a beta. It was so rare. I didn't even think of it. It wasn't even like something that when it eventually crashed, I would be like, oh well. I'd already been playing for like 3 hours, and I was like, oh well, I was probably supposed to be getting to doing other stuff anyway. I always be like, that was like my signal from like the universe or whatever. Like that's probably a sign I should do some other shit. And so yeah, I've been doing that. It's fun actually. I really like it. I really only just started the campaign mode, so it's not like all of the features have been unlocked yet. I'm still sort of like, it's almost like the tutorial section where it's saying like, this is how you fight, this is how you do this is how you do that. And I'm just making sure that I learn everything, because I know that those 4X inspired games, they don't really go easy on you.
Right.
It's sort of like they teach you everything, and then assuming that you've learned everything, then it just whoops your ass.
See, that was one of the other bugs that I was hearing online, was that, and it may be even fixed before you even get to that point, but one of the key complaints was that NPCs that you were playing against, the computer opponents, were not leaving the towns. Like, they were building up and stuff, but the actual NPCs would not expand from the town.
Oh.
And that was one of the things, like, you would go to, you would explore, and you'd eventually find these guys, and they would just be sitting in their town. They wouldn't come out to meet you or anything. You'd be playing the game for a while, and then finally find them at their town. But I'd like to hear from, you guys, if that's actually true, if they fixed it by that time or what. But
yeah, so far the NPCs I've seen have been friendly, or at least friendly-ish. Nothing like direct enemies of me so far.
Gotcha.
They've been it's sort of like the build-up, like I said, it's sort of, because I play it, I feel like I play it a lot, but I'm like a slow expander type person. Even when I play Starcraft 2,
right.
Even though I know when I'm supposed to be fast expanding and getting bases all over the map, I'm not doing that.
I gotta make this look pretty.
Yeah, I'm not good at the fast expand or the quickly taking over maps and stuff. I'm more like this is my base. This is it. This is what you get. This is it. It's right there.
So what you're saying is that you take time to get to second base.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's it. Some people call that prude. I call it, I call it methodical.
You kiss me on the cheek first, no lips.
You get that cheek kiss right, or I'm not moving forward. We're not going south until you get this down.
All right.
Wow.
Anyway, so yeah, doing that. I've been playing the mod, as Slurms dubbed it, Sins of a Star Wars Empire.
Yeah.
Which is a mod for Sins of a Solar Empire.
I still have not downloaded that.
Which I had played before, but the improved version, all the patched up version with the expansion packs that Empire has gotten, or Sins has gotten.
Yeah.
It's a lot more fun now than it was then, even though it was a good time.
I had totally forgot until you mentioned it, that you had mentioned it on a podcast. And
you promptly laughed at me. You're like, ah ha ha, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, well, because you had said, there's this Star Wars mod for Sins of a Solar Empire. And you said it on a podcast. I'm like, yeah, but I was like, I got Empire at War. I can just play that, and it's probably better. Blah blah blah. And I totally disregarded it. I had not seen screens to convince me or anything, but then I read on, I think, Kotaku, they showed screens of it.
Like 9 months later.
Yeah, exactly. And of the updated version, I saw it, and I was like, holy crap. I was like, that looks pretty badass. And I tweeted about it, and then you said, yeah, I mentioned that on a podcast. It's like, oh, yeah, he did.
You're like, oh.
Nobody takes Pazz seriously.
I know, no. But
okay,
yeah, it does.
Because I'm sort of like the multiplaying, like the court jester type thing. Even if I speak the truth, you disregard it as a joke. Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, it's fun. It's really cool. I was just talking to Dina just shortly before we started all this, and if you play the Empire side, you get all the Star Destroyers and all the cool, all the carrier ships and all that kind of stuff, and you can build a Super Star Destroyer, which to me was really cool. The only downside, and I actually kind of agree with why they did this. The Super Star Destroyers can't move from system to system. They're stuck in the system that they're in.
Really?
But the Super Star Destroyer, they've made so overly powerful that it's just better that it stays in the system that it's in.
Wow.
Because if you have the resources to build it, that system becomes so much harder to take over. I mean, it's crazy. Like, I had a pretty decent force up. I mean, I was playing the Rebels, so I had all kinds of Mon Calamari cruisers and all kinds of stuff. I had some carriers that, like, just completely decked out with bombers and all kinds of crazy stuff. And I go in there, and I'm like I go in, and they had this AI had built up its base like turtle style, like built up all defenses, built a Super Star Destroyer, only had like a handful of ships. The Star Destroyer by itself took out like half my fleet.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just like, oh my god, this thing doesn't die. Like, I'm just like concentrating all my fire on that freaking thing, and it just doesn't go down. Like, because you can upgrade it. Like, once you build it, then you can upgrade. You can decide. There's like 10 different upgrades. There's like, you can expand the hangars to make it launch ridiculous amounts of fighters. You can make the weapon batteries more powerful, give it different array of weapons. So like, if you upgrade the weapon like 3 times, then it has like regular turbo lasers and then missiles and torpedoes and all kinds of crazy like ray guns and shit. And then you can upgrade its armor to make it just have stupid amounts of health. And or you can make it, on the flip side, you could build it and make it sort of like a government and trade capital, which makes their planet completely immune to transport ships that would colonize your world. Sort of like ninja. It's sort of like, because in the game you could technically ninja a planet away from someone.
I'm just saying, this is hilarious.
No, I'm serious. Like, you can. Like, if you have...
Black stormtroopers with, like, throwing stars.
Yeah. I'm not kidding. No, but seriously, like, technically, if you got your transports in past the defenses, you could just take the planet away from the person. Because the theory is that the transports are carrying all your strike force and stuff, your invasion force. So you would actually hostile takeover sort of thing. But the Super Star Destroyer, if you upgrade it in a certain way, it makes the planet immune to that. So that's like, there's a whole bunch of different ways to do it. But anyway, so just building it, and the Republic has their own version as well. But
see, the whole time you were talking about that, as soon as you said you can upgrade the armor on the Super Star Destroyer, I think I blurred out the rest of that conversation because I had this image in my head of stormtroopers on the outside of it in space welding on plates of armor.
That is awesome.
Or hammering. Hammering would be more funny.
Hammering with like just regular old bolts.
Yes.
It's a Star Wars. They're just like, dink.
Rosie the Star Wars riveter, like riveting on plates. But
anyway, so that's cool.
What else? But okay, how like play wise, it plays like Sins of a Solar Empire. I take it.
It's the exact same thing. Yeah.
Okay.
They just
skinned.
basically not even skinned. They actually added the factions. So what I did actually was I was playing the Rebels, and I teamed myself with the TEC, which is the Earth Corporation or something. I don't know what it's actually
called. From Sins of a Solar Empire.
Yeah. Like, you can mix the universes.
Worlds are colliding.
Yeah. So I had like 3 Empire factions against myself, and then like 2 of the Sins factions of the Earth, the actual Earth faction. So then like nice. I was like teamed with them, and then we were all versus the Empire. It was pretty cool, actually.
It was like the factions from Sins of a Solar Empire were having a Comic-Con and all dressed up like stormtroopers and
sort of
rebels.
Sort of.
Okay.
Sort of. But anyway, it's cool though.
Oh, come on, that was funny.
I'm giggling in the background.
No, but it's good. It's a lot of fun, and you don't have to put the other factions, but I thought it would be funny, so I went ahead and did it. Because you can choose what factions you face off against and shit, so it's cool. And then besides that, I've been doing a little bit of SEO. I'm playing it casually at this point because I've got these other games that that are shiny.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, what's well, actually we'll get into the news later. I was going to bring something up about that, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I'm interested in that too.
Yeah.
Keep on listening, you'll hear it.
Yes. Listen back in about 10 minutes.
Yes. Yes. And that's it. Besides that, a little bit more StarCraft 2, but nothing special to report there. Just some random.
I might be able to finish that up by the next podcast.
Oh, the campaign?
Yeah, maybe.
Cool.
I'm all
It's a good
done with
campaign.
I'm all done with the Protoss missions.
Ooh, those are fun.
They were really fun, but I can't talk about it because I already spoiled on Twitter and I got yelled at. So
Yes, you did.
yeah, I'm horrible about that.
But
so don't.
but the last mission, awesome.
Yes, indeed. So follow me on Twitter. Anyways, at SlurmsMP. Anyways, Dean,
Hey,
how's it going?
good.
According to your latest post on multiplaying.net, you were playing EverQuest 2. That stands true, I take it?
Yes, I'm playing EverQuest 2 Extended, actually, which is yeah. It's not just EverQuest 2, it's Extended.
It's got a heart on.
It's longer and harder than ever.
That's gotta be the slogan. Oh, they better put that on the box.
You know what's funny is that that's actually partially true.
Wow, which part?
But it's both.
Are you talking about you or the game at this point? I'm confused.
Yes.
I am lost.
Speaking of sluts,
Everybody's gonna sub to EverQuest 2.
oh God, okay.
I am downloading it now.
It's
Station
EverQuest.
launcher. Here we go.
It's EverQuest 2's hot blonde sister. No.
Brought to you by EverQuest 2. Brought to you by Viagra.
Q2X.
So,
Let's let the man talk.
So yeah, I've been playing EverQuest 2 Extended, which is the hot blonde sister of EverQuest 2. It's the free-to-play cheap version of the actual live game, and I have been having so much fun. But I'm kind of biased because I absolutely love EverQuest 2. I played the first time I actually played that was like 4 years ago when they released the Echoes of Fador expansion which had the Fae and stuff, and I got really into it at that time, and I've revisited it, every 6 months or so, just to see what new content they have added and to play it casually. And I have to say that their free-to-play implementation, if you're a casual player, it's awesome. They give you so much that you're able to do, and if you can work within their restrictions, which are can be a little bit, I don't know. They can be a little bit little hardcore, but as long as you can work within those, the game can be really fun. Basically, I've already upgraded to what's called the silver level of subscription, and that level of subscription, like you start out with like your free-to-play players, which are bronze, and they can't talk to anybody really. They can't talk in general. They have like less bag slots than everybody, and then you pay $10 to upgrade to silver, and then you get general chat, you get extra bag slots, and you get some more access like that. So I upgraded to that immediately, and actually got into a guild who gave me a bunch of huge bags, and some of the limitations that they put on the free accounts are really about inventory restrictions. So I got these 40 slot bags, these huge bags, so I've been able to do all the crafting I want, all the questing I want, and I actually probably have more inventory than I ever had in the live game. So
Wow.
It's awesome because I can collect and gather and harvest everything I need in order to do my crafting, and stuff like that. And the only the bad part about it is that you have the store. Stuff there is a little expensive. You got mounts that are like $25, sparkle ponies.
Oh,
and,
you mean like the in-game store for real monies?
Yeah, the real money
Gotcha.
transaction station cash store that they have
Station
in-game.
cash. There, I couldn't think of it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah, it's called Station Cash, and they got some stuff in there that's a little bit expensive. You can buy master crafted armor, which is like you can get that from crafters in the game, but you can also buy it off the store for like $1, for a piece of armor and
Gotcha.
stuff like that. And you can also buy crafting materials on there and stuff. So like it makes the game easier for you and more fun if you're willing to pay money. But honestly, it's I'm not planning to ever subscribe to this thing. I will probably buy some classes when they make those available, which should be very shortly. I've already bought a race pack for like $7.50 so I could play a Fae because they're awesome.
Cool.
But I keep on playing this and I'm like, I can't believe that this game is free. because the restrictions aren't that poor for a casual player. Now, if you're a hardcore, it's not going to work for you.
Free beyond box purchase, or
It's free, period.
no shit.
You didn't know that?
No,
don't
I thought
buy
you
the
still had
game?
to. I thought you still had to pay for like the download.
No,
it's
you just
free.
no.
Free,
It's
completely
it's
free.
it is
Free.
It's free to every single expansion except for the very latest one. So you just go like Google it or go to station.sony.com or wherever it is. You download the client. It's a streaming client. You jump into the game within 5 minutes. You're in a creating a character in a starting area and in the
But
game.
That's for like the bronze level, is what you're calling it, right?
Yeah,
The lowest level, whatever it is.
Which are like
Yeah.
the leprous beggars. It sounds like it. Does everybody spit on those people as they walk by?
well, yes. No, you can't actually. You can't tell who's a bronze and who's a silver and whatever. So, no, there's nothing.
The
like
bronze
that.
people they're just covered in shit.
Yeah.
Your clothes shall eternally be brown.
They they actually have, like Las Vegas signs that says this person sucks, please make fun of them.
They have to carry around banners for like advertisements to help pay for the game.
Yeah.
And that's
There's an
another thing
advertisement over your head.
that is another thing that's really nice about it is that there aren't very many like you have to upgrade to this, upgrade to that. There's like one pop-up when you start the game, and then the rest of
really?
it's just gameplay. So I don't think Sony knows what they're doing, but what they have what they have done isn't terrible. Like if you're a casual player, it's so fun, and I love that I can go back in there whenever I want to, and that I don't have to pay a sub.
See, now that I know that it's absolutely free, I will at least download it. I don't know that I'll actually log into it, but it's like, this motherfucker's free. I got another game on my system.
And
Here's
I
what's
mean,
gonna happen. You're gonna create a character, and you're never gonna play him past like level 5.
Probably.
and that's cool. I mean, it's like an impulse thing, and it gets you in there for it takes 10 minutes to get you in there, and
exactly.
if you,
It's at least getting you in the game.
yeah, and if you can experience some of the starter areas there, they have some really cool quest lines, and it's a lot of fun, and it's different too. So if you've never played it before, it's an interesting experience.
I played the game right when it came out, but I was already playing Dark Age of Camelot pretty hardcore, and it was one of those EQ2, and I think I had just built a new computer at the time or whatever, so it was like, this game looks really, really good. Like right when it came out, it was like, whose computer's going to run this? And
sort of like Crisis when that came out.
yeah, exactly. But I got it and played it for like a week maybe, and I was totally in the mind frame of Dark Age of Camelot at the time, and I was like, I can't play this. So I just went back and started killing people again.
Yeah, it's completely different, and honestly, the game still kind of runs like ass. It was made
Really?
for it was made for single core processors, and everybody's got dual, triple, quad, etc. core, and it doesn't like 80 core processors, and it doesn't
Septuple core.
septuple times 14 core. Yeah, and it doesn't take advantage of that like it should. So it's an aging engine. Still looks really good in some respects, but it performs like ass on a good system.
Yeah.
Dean, I gotta ask you, do you use the alternate models?
No, I hate those. I
Really?
hate them. Oh, absolutely. I do not like the alternate models that John's talking about. Like when they released this game in Asia, they made alternate models that are
More Asian inspired.
more Asian inspired, and I think they look like crap. I think that they totally don't even match with the art style of the game.
They don't. They really don't.
They don't even look. They don't. So I don't like them at all. No, I don't use the alternate models. I use the original, more realistic, EverQuest 2 art style models, just because.
So with the alternate models, is it a setting that when you select it, everybody looks like that, or they don't?
Yeah. It's an all or nothing thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
think
you can. It's like a little checkbox that says use alternate models or don't.
Okay.
It's as far as I know.
it's really personal preference. I mean, it's too like Lineage 2 looking, and just very
Use
Oh, it
alternate
is.
model.
It is. Yeah, it is very Lineage 2. I personally use the alternate models because I played a character that looked terrible in the original model, and I don't remember what it was. But
Yeah.
it looked horrible on the original model, and I was like, alternate models, what's that? And I clicked that, and I was like, oh my god, I look awesome! And then I just
look like
hell.
That's when you just hope to get a badass helmet that covers your face, and then you don't have to worry.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
you
there
go
you
back
go.
to the original again, so that everyone
Yeah.
else looks okay.
Yeah, exactly. So that's basically what I have been playing. If if you get bored on a Saturday or whatever, just try it. It's fun. It's
Yeah,
free.
I will definitely download it. And like I said, I don't know if I'll get on because I've got a bunch of other stuff I'm playing. So
A bajillion games. Yeah.
bajillions.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Anything else?
Other than that, I downloaded an app on the iPod Touch that was free for a day called I don't know if it's Fastar or if it's Fastar.
We're
But
gonna call it
basically-
Fastar.
It's Fastar. Basically, it's this game where you're a little guy with a sword. You run right and you kill squares.
So like unpopular people from high school.
yeah.
Fuck
Yeah,
you, Square.
You get your butterfly knife out and your tight jeans, and then
Yeah,
you're
they're
smoking a cigarette and you're killing the squares. No,
jump in grease lightning and go looking for squares.
it's just a little casual game where you basically run around and you kill these little squares. You upgrade your stuff, and you try to get through a level in as little time as possible. There are leaderboards and little things like that. It's just a simple little tiny game that I've been playing, and it's if you have an iPod or an iPhone, I spend the 99 cents if it's not free and check that game out because it's actually really addictive if you have like 3 or 4 minutes at a time to play it.
Oh, random backtrack doesn't have to be in the thing. You don't have to use all of
What's
the
gonna
alternate
be in there
models.
now?
You don't have to use all of the alternate models at once. Apparently,
You can do it
Yeah.
by race.
yeah, you can do it by race and male or female as well. I just
Really?
download the client. I'm creating a character.
Are you?
Jesus.
Sweet.
Wow.
Let me know what his name is, and I'll friend him, and then I'll totally.
I'll give you one fucking
You
guess.
just wait. Oh yes, Pazzo you just downloaded the client.
Yeah,
Amazing.
actually,
Does-
when he started talking about it, I downloaded it and I'm creating my character.
So
It's
is it
that
like?
fast.
Does it load up like kind of like Guild Wars does? That it does like a zone at a time or something?
Yeah.
well,
but
when
fast.
you initially start, yeah.
Okay. Well,
So
that'll
like
make it.
it'll
nice.
download the game slowly as you.
As you
No, it goes zone by zone. It doesn't do.
Oh,
background-
does it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it'll download the game if you leave the launcher open. So anyway,
Oh.
advice: start in New Hallis. Even New Hallis is like the best starter zone in the game now. I just highly recommend it because you're gonna get like way better gear. So all you noobs who are playing EQ2 for the first time, start in New Hallis. Do
Is there
yourself.
an area of New Hollis called Queens?
I don't get that, but no.
No. It's Christmas time in New Hollis, Queens. Mom's cooking chicken and no. Okay, never mind. It was Run DMC song.
Oh, okay. That's a throwback, man.
You know,
Ah! 2 points for
Okay.
everyone that got the reference before I said who it was by. Anyways,
That's it, dude. That's all I've been
what's-
playing.
what have I been playing? That's what everybody really wants to know, right?
Yeah, yes,
Because
I
it's
do.
nothing that
Playing
anybody
Steve?
really cares about.
yes, we do.
You're
Playing
too
kick-ass
much.
stuff, man.
Huh?
You've been playing some kick-ass games.
Yes, I have. First off, I want to get this out of the way. I have finished, as it was said in the last podcast we did, I think I mentioned that I needed to get back on it and finish it. Well, I did. I finished Mass Effect 2.
Yay!
Yay!
yes. What did you think of the ending?
Oh my god. That was
It really
awesome.
makes you want Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, I was like, God, I should have waited to finish this until right before Mass Effect 3.
You know, I thought the same thing, and that was when the game launched. So I'm like,
Because
wow.
that's kind of what I did with Mass Effect 1. Had never played Mass Effect 1 until like a month or so before Mass Effect 2 was coming. I was like, man, I got to go play that game because I had saw a lot of stuff on Mass Effect 2 and was like, this game looks bananas. I want to play that, but I really need to go back and play the first one. So I got it for cheap and played it. And it was like right in time to pick up the second one. I started playing it and was loving it, and then the whole thing fell apart with all the games that were coming out at the beginning of the year. But yes, I finally got back to it and finished it, and it was awesome. I got everybody. I was going full Paragon. I already put a review up on the site if you want to go read that. But did full Paragon and got everybody's loyalty. So everybody lived happily. So yay! I am so waiting for the next one. I've
Spoiler.
been spoiler what?
If you go full Paragon, everybody lives.
Oh,
actually,
well, oh.
actually, I was full Renegade and everybody lived.
Oh, damn it. Okay, never mind.
Sorry.
You did all their loyalties though, right? Wasn't
Yeah.
that the key?
Yeah, I did
that's
all their
the-
loyalties, but in a Renegade way. Did you have the mercenary, the guy with the scar across his face? I forget
No,
his
you
name
know
is.
what? The first
Zaid?
time Zaid, yeah. The
Zaid,
first
yeah.
time that I went to play the game right when it came out, I had picked him up and I had did like the crash site DLC and all that stuff. This time I don't know what I was even thinking, but I started playing the game again because I had I had since reinstalled Windows on my computer. I had went from Windows XP to Windows 7. That was kind of one of the kickers as to why it took me so long to get back to the game, because I just had never loaded it back up. But anyways, when I did it the first time, I had them. The second time, something was weird with my save file, so I had to use like some weird alternate save file that I had from. I had basically had to go back to Mass Effect 1 save file and start all over, rather than use the save file that I had for Mass Effect 2. Anyways, and when I started playing through the game, I think I got probably halfway through it and went, "Oh shit!" I never went back to the crash site and stuff, and then I just was like, fuck it, and I just didn't do it. So no, I did not.
You didn't do any of the downloadable content?
I have not done any of the downloadable content yet. I've been tempted to, but I think what I'll probably end up doing is not touching any of the DLC until right before Mass Effect 3, because I think I have this feeling that like right before that game comes out, I'll get this want to play so bad that that's what I'll do, is I'll just get some of the downloadable content then.
Yeah.
So I've got the game finished, and I've kind of got that like weight off of me, and I have so many other games I want to play right now anyway, so I'm good. But other than Mass Effect 2, I have been playing a little bit of Starcraft 2. I kind of, right after I went and got done with Mass Effect 2, I went back to start working on my campaign for Starcraft 2. I want to get that finished up. And I've been playing a fuck ton of Super Street Fighter 4. Pretty much like my whole idea that, okay, now that I'm off of 10-hour days and I can come home and play for an hour or work on stuff for the site for an hour. You notice, like, if you go to the site a lot to read stuff, which you may or may not do, there's not been a lot of stuff coming up this, like, past 2 weeks. Blame Super Street Fighter 4. Because
Did you
every
just
day...
get an achievement on that, too?
I did. I actually, I'm surprised I hadn't hit it before then, but I actually have just kind of more recently, last couple weeks, really been hitting the game kind of hard. I got an achievement last night. It was called This is Madness. It was because I hit 300 online matches.
Jesus.
Wow.
So, which was kind of a funny achievement, but so I still don't care about it.
I still hate them.
I still hate you. I was like, that's funny. I hate you. But no, I was actually surprised I hadn't hit it before then, because it feels like, because when a match only takes like 2 minutes to go through, it's you go bang 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 like one after another, and like in an hour of playing or a half hour of playing, I mean, you're doing 15, 16 matches, and it's quite a bit. So, but yeah, I am digging the heck out of that game. And I can't really say much more than that, because I'm pretty sure most of the people listening could give a shit. So get back to MMOs. But MMO-wise, I have like got a 2-month sub card all loaded up into World of Warcraft, and I have not touched that game. I don't really know what's up. I just have not had the desire to jump back on it. I don't know why, because I was digging the hell out of it, and all of a sudden I just kind of went, eh.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way, Steve. It's kind of lost a little bit of its luster, and I feel so bad because Shannon's been playing it, and she got some of the, a little bit more of the guild together, and just like, oh my god.
I think I just need to get on it, and I think it's just, once I get in, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, fun, yeah. But I just, because of playing so much other stuff, and like I think with finishing up Mass Effect 2 and all that stuff, it's just, was so gung-ho about that and not anything else, but yeah, probably this weekend I'll have some time to jump on it and see if I still got some want to play of. But the MMO I actually have been jumping on because there's so much talk about the sequel is Guild Wars. I've been playing a little bit of Guild Wars, not a whole lot. Only played a couple nights so far, but there's just so much talk about Guild Wars 2 that it's like, man, I want some Guild Wars coursing through my veins right now.
Well, Guild Wars is an awesome game.
I am
Guild
enjoying
Wars
it.
1, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I've been playing 2.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Yeah, you're in the beta. You're in the alpha. That's good.
Yeah.
That's nice. I was
they
actually
let me play that one class.
Yeah. They let me play the one of the 4 classes that are out. No. Yeah, I know what you mean about Guild Wars 2 though. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm dying for that game.
Yeah, I'm not dying for it, but it'll be the fantasy itch. But ultimately,
But we'll get back into that a little bit later.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
But yeah, that is all I've been playing.
Massively multiplaying.
Star Wars: The Old Republic. It's marked in here as not quote-unquote news, but the class specializations, I guess, were they announced, or was it leaked, or how did that come out?
No, it was part of a Fan Friday on the SWTOR website.
Okay.
I think there's like 1 or 2 Fridays every month that they come out with all the fan stuff that they've gathered over the past X amount of time, and they put all that stuff out, and they have a developer's corner where they release actual factual information about the game. This was that developer's corner for that week.
Nice.
This was, hang on.
He's being talked to. It's his wife. Come to bed, John.
Dun 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, so this is the developer's corner for that week, and this is what they essentially are showing as this isn't anything in stone. It's not like nothing. This is
okay.
like,
So the Jedi Wizard might not be called a Jedi Wizard.
yeah, I mean nothing. None of the names. I mean, come on. Could you imagine being a bounty hunter and going to Power Tech spec and calling yourself Power Tech? What
Hell
class?
yeah.
What class are you, Power Tech?
I'm gonna be wearing a power tie while I power tech some shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it makes no sense. I mean, but it's just sort of like a generalized, like, this is sort of what you're going to be doing if you go this route or this route, And they said in the developer's corner as well, they said, this is not all nailed down, but this is a generalized list, and details will be coming out periodically for the actual cementing of each respective specialization. So.
All right. Yeah, if you want to see the full list, you can go to our forums.
Yeah. What do you guys think? I know, Slurms, you're going Vanguard, you said, which is the tanky trooper.
Yeah, what they're calling it right now is Vanguard, and it just seemed like the most tanky of the troopers, and that's kind of the thought that I have in my head right now, at least until I play the game, is that I like the look of the trooper, and I like playing tanks. I'm very tempted to play more of a Jedi, like the tank Jedi, whichever they were calling that. But I think I'm still probably going to go trooper, because I just imagine there being a few troopers hanging around a hub and then 1,000 Jedi. Look, we got robes and lightsabers. So
there's got to be something to differentiate everybody, though. They can't all have robes and lightsabers.
Well, they're all gonna. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, some of them are going to have armor and robes.
Yeah, there you go. Well, yeah, the quote-unquote tank Jedi, I still can't remember what that was called.
It's called a Tedai.
Tedai?
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
A Teddy.
Yeah, it's called a Teddy.
They're wearing practically nothing.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah,
were
they're just
supposedly
very
wearing very hairy. Except for that's not a robe. Except for they were supposed to be wearing armor.
Yeah, they have heavy
Like,
armor. It's called the
like-
Guardian at this point.
Yeah. Oh, Guardian. Thank you. So,
Quote unquote, it's supposedly called the Guardian. They're going to be the single saber heavy armor, like the leadership, sort of like Knights of the Blazing Sun in Warhammer, or captains, I think they were called in Lord of the Rings Online.
Yeah.
And where they kind of buff the party and kind of tank stuff. It's gonna be kind of cool.
Tank-wise, I'm interested to see how the whole trooper as a ranged tank thing works out. That's what I'm kind of excited about, to see how they work that. So could be cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. And as Rare pointed
Stay
out,
over there as I shoot you.
yeah, sort of. As Rare pointed out on the forums, even though he was in the wrong timeline,
Jesus.
Wow.
Call him out.
Rare, you're wrong.
I mean,
So
no, but it was a good point, though. Underneath the timeline thing, it was a very good point about the energy shields. And I didn't think they would have it, but props to Rare for actually calling that. With the energy shields for the trooper. If you guys ever played Force Unleashed, or even if you've seen it played or whatever, there's a certain trooper that you come up against that has this energy shield. And I don't think it's going to be done that way exactly, but where it absorbs electricity, so the Force Lightning doesn't work. It actually charges the shield itself, and then it resists lightsabers pretty well for a little while anyway, and stuff like that. So it's sort of like the shields that they would have used in like the prequels, like the huge, it's like miniature versions of that, I guess, is what I would envision it as, the small power packs. So it's going to be pretty cool. They're probably going to have, you're probably going to be the hulking heavy armor with like pocket shields,
Yeah.
So I think it'll be pretty cool. You'll be pretty badass.
Awesome. All right. Well, speaking of, like, since you're sitting here talking to us about all of these awesome Star Warsy things, and you've been doing all this research on it, you've kind of gone a little bit nuts.
Yeah, he has.
Especially if you go to the forums, you can see how nuts John gets, because your lore obsession's going a little bit out of whack here, man.
Out of whack.
Turned it up
Well,
a
maybe
notch.
into whack. Do you want me to call it that?
I don't know. I mean, it's just
Wait,
I've just
he's
been
whacking
reading a
what?
lot. That's because I've been reading. I've been like devouring Star Wars books lately. So
I mean,
I'm
you go
in
to
like a-
you go to a convention, and you put like ringtones on your phone. You're buying books that float up out of the box.
You're carrying Star Wars binders to school.
I have
your Star Wars Trapper Keeper.
Yeah, my Trapper Keeper. I've got the R2D2 backpack.
Oh, you do? Oh God.
No,
Oh,
I don't
damn.
have that.
No, that's stupid.
Yeah,
God.
he does.
Oh, God. Steve is like, oh, that's terrible. Yeah, good thing you don't have that.
He's looking in the floor at his backpack now.
Go away, R2. Stop looking at me.
I wish I never bought you.
You gotta stop looking at me like that when I'm having sex with you.
Oh, whoa.
Uh,
That's a whole fantasy.
Like the dog. But anyways. Why does the guy look at you all guilty when...
Oh, I thought you meant him with the dog. I'm like,
Oh,
what?
no! Oh, God, no. I'm talking about the dog looking
Wow,
at me.
Dean.
I'm really sorry.
Yeah, I gotta edit all that out.
Well,
But I won't.
A set of followers, the bestiality.
Oh my God.
This guy's sending
It's a brand
emails.
new
How's your
tag
dog
we're
doing?
playing.
Follow him on Twitter, folks.
Yes. Worms MP. For
Aw.
all your beastie needs.
Flirts and his dog.
I have to
And-
set my dog up with a Twitter account now.
Oh my God.
You.
Oh God.
Who started
Uh,
that?
I don't know.
I'm so sorry. Oh.
I don't know what's going on.
Poor little dog.
Anyways.
You've been looking for a new dog. He wore out the old dog.
Oh, this one's cute. Check it out. Oh, jeez.
He's got a pretty smile.
He's got a bunch of 2-foot graves in the backyard.
Oh God.
This is terrible.
Man, the image that I'm going to use for this podcast, you just wait. Anyways,
No.
Star Trek Online. Quickly moving away from the bestiality talk. There's
Oh,
another.
I didn't know that we were done. All right, Star Trek.
We're never done. There's another ship that was added in STO. What was it?
The Excelsior, I think it was.
Excelsior. I saw that on Twitter today.
Yeah.
What's the
That's pretty cool.
significance?
No, just from the Star Trek Generations movie. That
Cool.
I guess they had a poll, and Cryptic, true to their form, always pretty much follows whatever polls they put up.
Mm-hmm.
When they put up a poll and whichever one wins, that's exactly what they do. So
Cool.
Excelsior won, and that's what they put in the game. That's everyone asked for as far as the ship, and that was pretty cool. And then the weekly episodes is the next thing on here.
Yes, that's the big news that I'm actually
is
kind of
what
excited about.
Everyone was excited about, which they're starting tomorrow? Yeah,
That's what it says.
tomorrow.
28th.
Tomorrow, they start tomorrow. So I'm excited. I hope that it holds up because having new content every week is pretty badass. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm hoping that it turns out pretty good, and I'm hoping that it's not I don't know, bad, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Because so far I've been very, very happy with Star Trek Online. I don't play it as obsessively as I did before because I've got all these other new games, as I said earlier, that I've been playing lately. But I've really been happy with the game overall, and I hope that it's they continue showing good story and, so I don't know.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with that. Cool. In Guild Wars 2 news, which actually we probably have more Guild Wars 2 news than anything because I think a lot of us are excited about it. I personally am, but we'll get into that a little bit more in a little bit. Again, stay tuned keep listening. The Necromancer was revealed this week. I have not seen video of it, but the screenshots that I caught on what was it, G4 or Kotaku, one of the two, were pretty awesome. Just some of the spell effects and stuff that they were capturing with that, with the insect swarms and everything, were rather cool. I can't wait to see that in motion.
The videos are pretty good for the Necromancer.
Because it's one of those. If I was going to play a casting class, that would definitely be it. Because I like the what I'm actually playing in Guild Wars 1 right now is a warrior / necromancer, because I like the soul sucking. So
Well, you played
read into that as much as you want.
The Death Knight or whatever in Age of Conan, and you always seem to play that Dark Paladin type class.
Yeah, I'm leaning, as time goes on in MMOs. That's what I kind of lean more towards. The Dark Templar in Age of Conan and the Death Knight.
And yet you refuse to play Renegade in Mass Effect.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that weird?
Which is kind of weird, and I hate to go back to Mass Effect, but
no, but it's I like to play that class, but on the good side.
It's so
See, because I'm I'm playing a Death Knight on the Alliance side, which you can argue if that's actually good or not, but that's totally a different argument. We're talking about Guild Wars 2 here, people. Why are you bringing up WoW, God, or Mass Effect? Anyways, Dean says that the gameplay videos totally captivated him. Dean, expand.
Oh my God. Dude, I'm excited about this game, obviously. Game Trailers came out with this 9-part video series, and I think it was a total of about 45 minutes of gameplay from the human side and also from the Char side. So they showed the beginning human starting area and sort of what you would expect storyline wise in the persistent world, and then kind of how the dynamic events work. Basically they're like these giant PQs that you go into, and you're rewarded based on your participation. And there was just so much content to these videos. I can't even distill it all in this podcast, but probably the best thing that I saw was that they had these giant dynamic events where you go into an area and there are possibly 60 other players, and maybe it's progressed in the storyline, maybe it's later in the game. Well, once they get to this area, it spawns, if you saw the Char video, this spawns this huge fucking dragon. It's like it's like nothing. It's like what would be in a raid in a normal MMO, but I think that this is just sort of this is how the game is. So you have this huge dynamic event with 60 other people, triggers this giant dragon, just this epic thing, and I'm just jaw dropped to the floor. I haven't seen anything quite like this that really that looks like it kind of is accommodating to either the solo or the casual player. So I have
yet to catch that video, because I actually started watching what I think might have been the first part to that when they were actually doing character creation.
Yeah, the human thing.
And I never got around to going and finding the second part to that, and I need to go watch that, because I've heard people describing that on Twitter, and describing during Gamescom this last week or whatever it was, everything that they were seeing, and I need to go check that out so bad.
Yeah, even the human section, even in the lobby areas, they just even in the tutorials, as you went along, you even got to a big sort of boss fight with all these other noobs in a dynamic event, and it was just all these crazy whirlwind effects and stuff flying everywhere. It just looked very console-y and just very epic and
scripted,
but in a very open way. I don't know how to explain it. You got to watch them if you haven't. They're just amazing.
Scripted as in you can go do this thing if you want, and then when you go do it, it's going to be badass. But you don't have to go do it if you don't want to.
Yeah,
but
pretty much like that.
It's badass.
Yeah, those videos. I don't sit there and watch gameplay videos because I'm just not the type of person. I'm give me the game, I'm going to play it when it comes out. But I'm hyped for this, and watching those videos just made me even more hyped.
Cool. Yeah, I am. What?
What?
I said hype.
Hype. Yeah,
I haven't watched them either. I'm trying to avoid the hype meter.
See, and I was really but I think I'm more trying to avoid, this is my mindset right now. I've been trying to avoid the Star Wars The Old Republic hype meter like crazy. So now that this stuff's coming up about Guild Wars 2, I see it, and it's I'm really not trying to ignore it. I'm actually starting to look at it a lot more, and the more I'm looking at it, the more excited I am. And something that was actually asked by Rare on Twitter today has like the multiplaying quote unquote panel officially moved from the Old Republic to Guild Wars 2 as its next big game, because we talk about it a lot more. And I don't know if that's why everybody else is doing that, because a lot of us have been avoiding, like even like openly, vocally on the forums, avoiding the Old Republic in a way, just so that we don't, like, I mean, we all even, most of us at least stated
Except for
on there.
Pazz.
Yeah, except for Paz. Most of us have stated on there we're not going to play the beta because we do not want to spoil any of that for ourselves.
Yeah, myself and Tack are probably the only ones that are just ruthlessly, into Star Wars lore and the reading the books and stuff.
Right, and I think that's at least my excuse, is that I've been avoiding that so hard that when I see the Guild Wars stuff, it's like I'm going to grasp onto this as much as I can, because one, I'm not looking at Tor, and two, because it looks really fucking cool.
Yeah.
And the more I see about it, the more hyped about it I am, and that kind of where Rare's getting at is, that's what I think has at least happened to me. I am becoming a lot more excited about Guild Wars 2 than I am Tor. I am still extremely excited for Tor because I am a huge Star Wars fan and a huge BioWare fan, so naturally I want that to happen. But the more I'm seeing of it, and the more I see of, which isn't much again because I'm kind of ignoring it, and then the more I see of Guild Wars 2, the more I see Tor as the quote-unquote safe bet, and I'm excited about what Guild Wars 2 is doing because they seem to be taking a little bit more risk in it, which could, if it pans out, will just be amazing.
The thing, I mean, I haven't read a lot about either, but because I'm trying to avoid it. But the things that I have read about Guild Wars is it definitely is trying to be more innovative, I think. Yeah. Whereas, Tor's going to be more the same kind of thing, just in, of course, a genre that we love, and by a company that's got a pretty good track record for story-driven stuff.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see what they do. But I think as far as the two games go, I think Guild Wars just seems to be putting out something, that's something new, right, that we're all kind of looking for when it comes to an MMO.
Yeah, exactly. There's like everybody that plays has been playing MMOs for a long time. The common complaint is we need something new and innovative, and it seems that's what Guild Wars 2 might be.
Yeah, right. I agree. I think I even said it on Twitter back to Rare. I was like, I'm looking forward to Star Wars Old Republic more personally, but Guild Wars 2 is going to bring way more new mechanics and new new features, and that's going to kind of shift things in a different direction.
Right, and like the one thing that I thought about after our talk about the space combat thing from Tor, like the more I thought about it afterwards, I was like, you know what, I still feel like myself playing that game down and just saying, I'm not going to get hyped about that whatsoever. I'm not looking at that and getting excited, when in reality the space combat stuff that they're doing is probably going to be amazing. It's probably going to be very cinematic and very amazing, but I am really in my mind playing it down and not getting excited about it because I want that experience to be amazing,
new and
fresh and amazing, and I don't want to taint that whatsoever.
Because we definitely all ruined ourselves in Warhammer.
Yeah,
I think a lot of us really did. We all got into beta as soon as we possibly could. We played the game as much as we could before it was released, and then it came out. We were like,
Yeah, I didn't play the beta very much in it, but when the game actually came out, I went effing nuts about it. I mean, that's what started me blogging. That's what started me just playing like every night with an MMO, which I had typically never done in the past, and I really got done with the game quick. So.
I mean, do you remember how quickly me and Odalus got to 40 on our Marauders?
I wasn't with you then, but yeah.
Oh, that's right.
That was before me.
It took like a month.
Wow.
Like, we were 40. Bam. That was it. We devoured that content. Devoured it. It was insane. We played all the time.
It's like soup. It was so tasty.
I was just going to answer. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Dean. No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to answer Rare's question. Is that some and there are some people who aren't like super Star Wars fans, and it's multiplaying sacrilege to admit this, but I mean I like the movies and stuff, but I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's a Star Wars game, and that's one of the reasons that I'm more hyped for Guild Wars 2. Is it's more along the lines of like what I'm looking for in a genre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so that's another reason.
Huh?
Sorry.
No, that's another reason for.
And that's another reason for some of I know Brian's like way more hype for Guild Wars 2 because it just I think it's what he's more into as well.
Right.
Yeah.
as far as me, Guild Wars 2 is like, it's going to be my fantasy fix. Because I played Guild Wars 1, like, since it was like you buy the game and then you just free to play once you've bought the game. I played it casually forever. I mean, I never like did a whole lot of stuff like with the raids and all that kind of thing, but you know, I mean, I played it. It was fun. I really loved the way they did the class system, and I know that they're doing it completely different in this game, but I mean, the developer, the people that made Guild Wars and that they're making Guild Wars 2 now, I mean, they're doing a lot of really cool shit. You know, like I was watching some of the videos for like Ranger and the Necromancer and stuff, and I'm just like, it's awesome. I mean, if I were to choose a fantasy game, MMO, to play, Guild Wars 2 would probably be it, but I'm more of the sci-fi side of the fence, personally.
And you're finally getting a AAA sci-fi game.
Yeah. Finally. Holy crap.
I mean, that's kind of part of the thing for me with still wanting to tour those, because since I think Anarchy Online came out, I had played that for a little bit, because I was, way back then, I was already at the point of, there's a lot of fantasy stuff out there in MMOs, but I want a sci-fi game.
Yeah.
And it didn't do it for me. I did not like the game at all, even though some people loved it. But I mean, now we're finally in potentially 2011 or after, we are getting a AAA sci-fi MMO, and yay! So hopefully,
I'm ready for something besides the traditional fantasy setting.
Yeah, like, and even Tack and I were talking about it too. Like, some people like myself and Tack, we are such Star Wars fans. I wouldn't say fanatics, but we're really heavy into the story.
Yeah, you're fanatics.
No, fanatic. There's a whole nother level beyond us. Trust me.
Are you a fan? Are you a fan?
Huge fan of Star Wars.
That's a fanatic. Yeah. You're a fanatic, man.
No.
No, I would consider
you can be a fan with. You can be a fan without.
Reality, substitute my own.
You can be a fan without being fanatical.
Car, admit it.
Actually, I don't, but I kind of wish I did.
See.
But anyway, so Tack and I were talking about, like, you know, even if the game comes out, and I hope it's not bad, but even if it comes out and it's not what we expected and whatever, we were talking about, like, you know what, I bet you we would still play the shit out of that game just because we played, like, we were talking about, we played every Star Wars game that's come out, even when they were terrible, we still finished them. So, like, we were talking about, like, yeah, even if it's bad, we'll probably still finish all the content just because like the argument for the prequels, like, really, they were bad. The movies, they were bad, but besides the fact that, you know, whatever, I mean, they're not terrible. I don't feel that they were a complete travesty of Star Wars because I'm looking at the actual story instead of the directing and the acting.
I agree. I think the first one I didn't like the story very much on. The second and the third, the story wasn't bad, but the acting was, even what's her face, Natalie Portman was terrible in that movie, and she's not a terrible actress.
No. Yeah, well, you know what the problem is? I've been reading the books. I've been reading the books actually, and Queen Amidala is monotone in the books. That's actually the character she was given. Like I'm sure what happened. Like, she's probably not that much of a Star Wars fan. If I were to imagine Natalie Portman, and they were probably like, "Do you want to be a Queen Amidala?" She was like, "Queen, I'll take that." And then the character is like complete monotone voice, and that's actually her character in the novels, in the lore. And I'm like, really? I'm like, what the fuck? Because she's like, in the supposed story, she's like 15.
Yeah.
So, you know, she's just a teenager, like a teenage girl that was like, "Hey, by the way, you're queen now." It's like, oh. Okay.
Yay!
I mean, I didn't think the story in the second and the third one was terrible.
Yeah. So I mean,
the whole first one was kind of, and Jar Jar Binks. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
See, I don't think Jar Jar Binks ruined the movie,
I gotta edit that out.
He was so annoying. He was.
See, like, he didn't bother me though. Like, I don't know if. No, I'm serious. Like,
God.
What's wrong with you?
You get pissed now. I watch it.
No, I'm serious. Like, yeah, he was like totally probably shouldn't have been in the movie at all. But the fact he was there didn't bother me to the point of saying this movie is terrible.
I need sound effects on my phone.
I have to edit out where you said probably shouldn't and just leave it as shouldn't.
Well,
Oh, wow.
It's so bad if they hadn't given him that terrible accent.
Oh my god.
The whole Jamaican
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I think the race that they created for that, the look and everything was fine, but the mannerisms and the tone of voice, just why?
It was a cartoon.
Yes, exactly. Why would you make that and then have them go to war against robots? It's like fuck you.
Yeah, George Lucas. Take that.
You know, they talked to Leonardo DiCaprio about being Anakin.
What?
And he
It would have been a lot better.
Well, at least he
Probably.
can act.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I saw that recently. And Sylvester Stallone, they talked to for Han Solo.
What?
Yeah, but
Can you
even
imagine?
Sylvester Stallone was like, this is not my bit.
Right. The only
He
one
was like-
else that they considered that I thought, well, you know, he might not have been bad was, who's the guy married to, or well, living with Goldie Hawn? Kurt Russell. Yeah, but he's the only one that they talked to. I thought, oh, he might not be bad.
Snake Plissken as Han Solo.
But everybody else they talked to Christopher Walken.
What?
Can you imagine?
Wait,
Oh my
as who?
God.
As who?
No.
Well, I thought they said Han Solo, but maybe not. They were just talking about. They were talking about people that interviewed, you know, for or auditioned. I'm not interviewed.
I could see Christopher Walken as Darth Vader. Luke, I'm your father.
That's pretty good.
You know, we talk about that now, but we probably could you imagine how many different people get considered for all the different roles of every movie we've ever seen? That if we thought about it now, would be like, that's so dumb.
Oh, come on, though. Sylvester Stallone as Han Solo would have been so wrong. On so
Hello,
many
Grillo.
levels. Yeah, exactly.
Leia!
I love you.
I think they need to redo the movie now. Like, they kind of did that spoof Expendables. They need to do a spoof of Star Wars.
Did you guys see Expendables? That was so, it was, there's no reason to see it except for all of just
I was going to say, is it terrible?
No, actually, it's not terrible. It's just, it's a movie that
But it's just action
worth
film, right?
watching. Yeah, it's just a good action film with, you know, what you would expect from having a whole bunch of action stars together. But I will say that they gave, in that movie, Jason Statham a majority of airtime.
Oh, wow.
Although he is kind of the new action hero of this
I was
generation.
about to say, which is kind of weird because they were kind of portraying it as like, look at all these old action stars, and then, yet they give most of the airtime to the new guy that's still pretty much an action star.
Well, I wouldn't say all the time, but I mean
Well, I
they
know,
gave
but-
him some of the better kills and stuff
Oh,
like
okay.
that.
Because
Even
he's not
though
60.
Really?
Yeah.
He's the only one who did.
So he didn't have to pop pills before he went out.
Well, the other thing was that the other thing was that he was the knife guy. You know what I'm saying? The knife guy always has cool kills. You know, so
Yeah.
anyway, but it was a good movie. It's worth watching probably once or twice, but I you know, it's going to be next time I see it, it'll be in the Netflix queue kind of
Right.
thing.
Gotcha.
It's not oh my god, you have to see it right now. It's sort of it's fun, but
Yeah.
you know.
But don't waste, you know, all the money going to movies.
Yeah, you don't have to see it in the theaters or anything, but it was fun.
You know what?
What?
This started off as a conversation about Guild Wars.
Totally.
So, yeah, the Necromancer. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Christopher Walken.
And,
Guild
and
Wars.
yeah,
Get it?
Christopher
Walken is-
Walken was actually who they're going to use as the Necromancer.
Nice.
yeah, yeah. He's like,
Sylvester Stallone
come,
is
my
Armstrong.
minions.
Have these bugs. But yeah, that is really all we got, I think. Other than the other thing that I was supposed to remember from Rare, I got sent a message from Rare. He is in the possession of an extra copy of Borderlands via Steam, and he wants to give that away.
Oh.
So we're going to have a little giveaway. By the time you read, Jesus, you're going to read our show notes, damn it. By the time you listen to this, I will have something posted in our forums. Our forums are kind of blowing up lately. I wouldn't say blowing up, but they're actually active quite a bit
Yeah.
more.
Because
So we're
they're
going to...
awesome.
They are awesome. They're greatest forums ever. But anyways, if you go to the site and if you look up at the top, there's actually a button to go to the forums. So just go to multiplaying.net, look up at the top right, and there's a little button that says forums. Click on it, go to the forums, and probably in the first or second section I will post something as far as the contest rules. It'll be pretty simple. It's probably just going to be a draw from whoever posts in that thread is what we'll do. Something very simple. No, don't have to submit anything, but yeah, that's it.
Well, gentlemen, no point in hanging around this dump any longer.
Wait! Where are you going? I was going to make espresso.
Show's over, folks.
You can't go. All the plants are going to die.
Take off, eh?
Thanks for listening to Multiplaying, the companion podcast at multiplaying.net. Questions, comments, feedback, errors, etc. can be sent to multiplaying@gmail.com. We invite you to write a review on iTunes and visit our website at www.multiplaying.net.
We've made a lot of friends, shared a lot of laughs, often at the expense of others.
I think some people are going to be upset.
Let me just close this conversation by saying you are one unique individual.
Thank you and good night.
We were just going over like random sound bites I downloaded into my phone. Lots of Star Wars ones, lots of other... Oh, you enjoyed a couple of them, don't lie.
Okay.
You enjoyed the wife ringtone.
Yeah.
Yes, I did enjoy that.
Oh, I gotta
Just
hear it now.
Huh?
I gotta hear it now.
Oh,
Give
okay.
it to Steve.
Give it to me.
Every time she calls.
Give it to me hard. Do
every
it.
Every time she calls me. Are you ready for this? Oh yeah.
Nerd.
Yep. Every time. And then every time she texts me is another good one.
Is thy bidding, my master?
That's good.
Yeah.
And
then normal texts.
This is... Hey, stop.
Sorry, I just got back. Sorry.
Oh, you just got back. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just... Sorry, man. Okay,
Perfect.
do your thing.
All right.